Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Welcome to my weight loss journey. I think this is week 25, which in all honesty is completely surreal that I am still doing this every single week, that I'm still getting on video. I don't know really, let's go back in time a little bit. Let's review back in time from when I started this. I honestly, when I started this, I thought that I would get on video and I would share my story, and I felt like I was ready to lose like 60 pounds. I was just like, I was going to be, walking every day for 2 hours, lifting weights. I was going to eat all the right foods. I was never even going to have a cheat day. I know some people don't call them that, but whatever. I was never even going to have a cheat day. I was never going to struggle with this whatsoever. I honestly thought, like, when I got on camera, because I really thought this through before I did this weight loss journey on video, because I actually talked to a couple people about it, and several people were like, I wouldn't do it on camera. If I were you, I just wouldn't do it on camera. And I actually have done this in the past. I think I shared this, that on my Peterisms channel. My Peterisms channel actually started as a weight loss journey channel, and that didn't happen. So when I started over here, I was like, I'm going to really go into this with everything. I honestly thought if you had said to me the first week that I started this, because I felt so inspired and I felt so motivated and I was so excited to do this, and I still have glimpses of that. But if you had asked me that first week when I started this, where do you think you will be at 25 videos? It's been probably, I think, because I skipped like 1 or 2, 3 weeks when I was on vacation. So it's really been like 28 weeks. But if you had asked me, like, where will you be at 25 weeks of recording your journey? I honestly, at that point, I think I would have said, I will be at my goal weight. I'll be maintaining my goal weight, and my videos won't really be like weight loss check-ins. They'll really be about, strength training that I'm doing, little tips that I'm, learning along the way, showing maybe some like salads that I'm making, some recipes. I mean, I really thought that's what, I'm just completely being transparent and vulnerable right now. That's really what I thought what I would be doing by now, that these videos would maybe be in the kitchen and I'd be showing you like a new water bottle that I got, or, but I would be, where I wanted to be weight-wise. And so it's really, to be honest with you, on one hand, it's very frustrating that I haven't met my goals yet. I'm not even anywhere near my goal yet, but at the same time, I'm trying to, I'm documenting a lot of this, not just on video, but like I'm keeping this workout journal, and but I'm really doing it more now in this daily journal that I do, and I put on there when I walk and how long I walk and how I felt after I walk, and I'm, charting my water that I drink and things like that, and I'm charting what I eat every day. I'm writing down what I eat so I can kind of look back on it, and I will tell you one thing that has really helped me with. Well, before I get into that, let me just say, so on one hand, it's frustrating, right, that I haven't reached my goals yet. I wish that every day that I woke up, I had that inspiration that I had when I first sat down to do this. I wish that every single day that I woke up, that I had that just, let's go, let's get it, I wish I could bottle that up and sell it, because that day I was so sure of myself, So on one hand, I'm kind of frustrated, the fact that I haven't reached my goal. And that's kind of like a measurable goal, a number that I'm aiming for. And I don't, I've kind of gone back and forth with this. A lot of people are like, it's not about a goal. A lot of people don't weigh themselves. For me, to some degree, it is about a goal. Partly because my doctors want me to be at a certain weight, health-wise. Also, as you get older, being, heavier is not healthy for you, and you're at higher risk for other things, whether that be diabetes or heart issues and things like that. But the other thing is that I've always had that mentality. It's one of the things that I'm working on in therapy, and also with my food addiction, is this mentality of it always being about a number, right? And so I've kind of had that. So on one hand, I know a lot of people are like, don't focus on the number, just focus on how you feel. For me, I can't take that away. It's how I've been ever since I've been 15 years old. I will always be focused on a number to some degree. That will always be there. But it's not the overwhelming thing. And I think that that's the one thing that I've learned through all this. At the beginning, it really was about the focus on the number. It was also about the doctors and being healthier and things like that. But I was also really excited about seeing the scale go down and being weights that I had never been before. Well, I haven't been, let's say, in 15 years, right? I was really excited about that, 20 years. And I'm not there yet. So that part is frustrating to me. What is not frustrating to me and is very hopeful to me is that, number one, I have pretty much maintained my weight since I've started this. I haven't really lost any weight, obviously, but, well, we'll get to that today. But I have lost some weight this week, so not a lot, but we'll get to that in a second. But I've maintained my weight. So for me, that is huge. And I don't know if you're like me with eating and exercising here but not there, and taking a year off from being active whatsoever and being very sedentary and really struggling with food issues and having food addictions and things like that. If you struggle with all of that, then I think you'll understand how the maintenance part is such a big deal, because the fact that, and like I want to make this very, very clear, because I a couple times haven't said it, and when I don't say it, there's always at least one comment that's like, well, Peter, it's not like you worked real hard to lose this weight. So, I lost the initial weight after the accident because I just really wasn't eating a lot. And, but I wasn't, actively trying to lose weight. It just kind of came off. Then when I had pancreatitis, they changed my medication. And the medication that I was on previously is a medication that makes you aggressively hungry. That being said, I have been in the best shape of my life on that medication. So they switched my medication. I do think that initially the switching of the medications really, really helped me lose some weight. So that's how I initially lost that first part of weight, right? And then I continued to lose weight, though, like between last spring and summer when I had pancreatitis. I lost like another 10 pounds after that. And I was watching what I was eating and things like that. And so that 10 pounds I did lose on my own. Then I gained some weight back. And that's what brought me to wanting to do this weight loss journey again, because I was really afraid that I was going to be back in the 260s again, that I was going to be, back in the 260s. I think one of the things that's really, really frustrating for me is that last summer, a year ago, I was 4 or 5 pounds thinner than I am now, and I could kind of like eat what I wanted to eat, and I wasn't really, I watched it, but I wasn't working to lose the weight. But what I noticed happened was I would like put 2 or 3 pounds on, and then I would kind of like freak out for a moment. I'd be like, okay, and then I would watch what I ate for a week, and then I would get back down again. And then, that started happening towards the end of the summer. And then it was like I would put 2 or 3 pounds on, and then I would do it again, to the point where I just was starting to get this attitude that I kind of just didn't care. In all honesty, I was like, well, if I get back up to, I think last summer I was like 203, the majority of the summer, 203, 204. And I was like, if I get back up to 215 is still lower than I was like, it was, after the pancreatitis. So if I get back to 215 is okay. And so I started getting that mentality. I remembered years ago, meeting with my neurologist, and he was worried about my weight because he said, I'm worried that you're going to be pre-diabetic because you're putting on so many pounds a year. Like, you're putting on I think it was like 5 to 6 pounds a year I was putting on. Well, I think it was even more than that, but that's, what he said at the time. This was years and years and years ago. And so I can remember, I've always remembered him saying that to me. And at that time I was kind of like, when I looked at it, like over the span of like 10 years, 5 or 6 pounds a year doesn't sound a lot, but when you put it out over 10 years, that's 60 pounds, right? And it's real easy to put on, but it's really hard to get off. And when I was looking through my Fitness Pal this week, I think I kind of forget sometimes, like, my highest weight. My highest weight, there was a period where I fluctuated between like 268 and 274. For me, that is really, really heavy. And so now that I'm below 210, like, that's huge progress for me, and that I'm maintaining it. Even if I haven't lost a lot of weight in 25 weeks, I've maintained that. And the other thing is that I've learned a lot about myself in the last 25 weeks. Like, I've learned, like, I know, I've said this for years, but like, I really know it through this journey because I've learned it. Like, I know everything that I need to do to lose the weight. I know. It's when am I going to click into place and decide that I'm going to do it? I think the one thing is, and I said this last week, is that every other time that I've tried to lose weight, I've always had a goal, right? Like Christmas. Like, I'm going to see a bunch of people at Christmas, or we're going on a vacation. Or, Ultra Music Festival in Miami, or summer, and so it's always this goal of, I want to lose weight till that, when that hits. And then when that hits, if I get halfway there, like this has happened to me a lot, and I'm sure a lot of people relate to this. I used to say, like every year in my vlog, like in September, October, by March next year when we go to Ultra Music Festival, I'm going to have lost 60 pounds, right? Well, I would get to like December and I would be like, I have 3 months left. There's no way, you know? And I'd be like, okay, well, if I just lose a pound a week, at least I'll be thinner than I am now, you know? And then like February would come and I'd be like, I have a month. There's no way I'm going to lose 40 pounds in a month. You know, it's unrealistic. And I just give up, you know? And so it was the own like thinking that was the problem, you know? And in recovery, we say, we don't have a drinking disease, we have a thinking disease. And it's very similar to how I think about eating as well. And I've learned so much about myself. Like, you know, when I just said this, like, I know everything that I need to do. And I know there's a lot of people out there that will probably say, then why aren't you doing it? Well, because many days I'm lazy. Many days I just don't want to. Many days I just don't really care. Many days I'm in my head and I'm like, okay, well, I'll just do it tomorrow, which has been something that's hurt me for years and years and years. But I know, like, if I'm choosing to eat the right foods, if I'm eating 2 to 3 times a day, smaller amounts, then I'm eating the healthier foods. And if I every, you know, day am like being active somehow by like walking or doing something, if I'm implementing like a strength training thing into that, and I feel better when I do that. If I'm drinking more water, you know, if I'm not drinking, it's really weird because a couple nights ago in my vlog, I had like a diet Dr. Pepper, and I've had like 5 diet Dr. Pepper sitting in the refrigerator for like the last 2 weeks. I haven't gotten any more. And my cousin didn't pick me up this week for Cousin Fun Day because she was busy. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to wait until like Friday when like Alex can take me to the grocery store. And I mean, he could take me at night, but I didn't want to go at night. And I was like, and I got kind of weird. I was like, I don't have those Diet Dr. Peppers. I haven't really been drinking Diet Dr. Pepper at night. I've been drinking coffee, I've been drinking water, and I've been drinking like sleepy time herb tea. And so I haven't really been, and I don't put any sweetener, I don't put the coffee syrups in my coffee. So like that has been a huge thing, has been the soda. I've been like, I greatly have reduced my soda intake. And so that's one thing. I do know that if every day that I wake up, I mean, it's very similar. I've had to learn to take it, you know, one day at a time, which is, I'm trying to apply a lot of, like, my sponsor has suggested this to me, to apply a lot of my recovery beliefs, my recovery slogans and things into what I'm doing, like, one day at a time. If you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got. And if I keep on eating and I'm not active, then I'm going to continue to be heavier like I was, and I don't want to be that way, you know? So I think for me, it's knowing that I have all the pieces, and then now what I'm working on is, what's the disconnect, Peter? Like, why are you your worst enemy in this? Like, if you know everything that you need to do, then what's the disconnect, you know? I am meeting with the personal trainer, and I am going to be meeting with the dietitian nutritionist, and that piece, the dietitian nutritionist, is going to be in combination with my my primary care physician. So I am excited about those pieces. I'm more excited about the personal trainer. I've said that before. But I feel like also, I kind of know everything they're going to tell me. Do I think the personal trainer is going to be like, these are some exercises you can do, and like show me the exercises that I can do at home and like what might work better? Sure. But I also know like how I feel, and I kind of know at this point what works for me. And so, yes, I'm going to do those pieces because I feel like those are the pieces that I haven't done. And if that doesn't work, then I'll go to the next thing that, you know, that I haven't done and things like that, right? And so, I don't know, like this week, I will say I didn't eat horribly. I mean, there really wasn't any day that I just like ate off the charts. They're usually at least once a week I am. There really hasn't been that. In fact, it was kind of funny because the other night I was like really craving pizza, and I was craving this. There's a restaurant here in town called Basbo's, and I was really craving this pizza that they have called Quattro Formaggio, 4 cheese, not healthy, right? It has bacon on it, but I get it without bacon because I'm a vegetarian. But they also have this sandwich that's called a Popeye, and it comes on this huge baguette of bread, and it's spinach and cucumber. It sounds healthy, but it's really not because it's got so much bread and stuff like that. And so I was like, okay, like, I've been really good this week. I'm going to get this pizza. I'm going to get a medium pizza. I'm going to get the sandwich. I'm going to eat half the pizza, or half the sandwich, half the pizza. I've been really good with that, with, like, eating stuff and, like, not eating the rest. Like, Sunday we go to brunch, and I've been getting this sandwich called the Fat Rabbit, which is basically, it's a vegan sandwich, and it's like all vegetarian, like vegetables and stuff like that. And I've been eating half of it and bringing the other half home. I didn't even eat the other half this week. I didn't even finish the other half this week. So I've been really good, like when I'm full, stopping. What was I going to say? Oh, but the other night I was like, okay, I had convinced myself I was going to do it. I was like, you haven't like really ordered any food this week. You've been really, really good. Order the food. And so I got online, and it was like not available on like DoorDash, Grubhub, any of those places. It wasn't like you couldn't order it online. And so I was like, okay, I mean, I could have like, you know, had Alex go pick it up and whatever. I was like, no, I'm not going those lengths. And Alex has been really, really supportive too. Like whenever I want to make like a poor choice, he's not like condemning of it. He'll be like, hey babe, like, are you sure you want to do that? Like, are you really want to think it through? Like every night he'll say like, are you going to go on your walk tonight and things like that? And I'm like, yeah. And once I get out the door, I'm pretty good. I will say this week, so I made a commitment this week that I was going to walk every single day. And I have done that. I have walked every single day. Was there one day that I think I've walked every single day. I haven't walked long. I was walking like an hour and a half to 2 hours, 2 hours and I think 47 minutes one night. But this week, it has been so hot and so humid outside. And last night I walked, and it wasn't as hot and humid, but I was just really, really like not feeling it. I was kind of lethargic. I walked around the neighborhood. I've been doing this thing where I like walk like through the streets in our little neighborhood, and that takes about a half an hour. And I've been stopping at about a half an hour. 30 to 35 minutes is about where I stop. And so every day this week I have walked. I've been active, but it's nothing compared to what I was doing before. I think for that reason, I am kind of excited about fall when it's a little bit cooler outside. So I did meet that goal. Now my goal for the next week with the walking is to up my walking. Instead of doing a half an hour, walk every single day and walk for a minimum of an hour. That's my goal going forward for this week. So, like I said, like it's frustrating that I'm not meeting my goals and I'm just very, very stagnant. And for that piece, I am really excited about talking to the personal trainer, and I am really excited about talking to I had full labs done the last time, so he's going to go over that with me. And then at the end of the appointment, the dietitian and the nutritionist is going to come in and we're going to go over that. I am excited about that piece because I'm thinking there might be something, because I like this week, okay, so last week I weighed myself. What was I? Was I 208.1 or was I 208 last week? Last week I was 208, and today I weighed myself and I was 207.2. And so it's a 0.8 pounds less than I was last week. Not huge, but progress, some progress, right? I will tell you that that's an accurate weight because I weighed myself pretty much every day this week. I think there was like 1 or 2 days that I didn't weigh myself, but it's kind of like gravitated, like it's gone a little bit up and a little bit down, a little bit up, a little bit down. And so it's kind of like, you know, it's gone like this. And so that's an accurate weight. I do know that. So I'm not disappointed in that, but obviously I would have loved for it to be like 205. I would love by the end of the summer to be back where I was last summer. That's kind of like my goal right now. You know, the best I've ever done with when I was like heavier and losing quite a bit of weight, I was taking 5 pounds at a time, and I would reward myself with something once I lost 5 pounds. Not like food, but like a new pair of shoes, or it was usually something that went towards losing weight, like a new water bottle or something like that. So I'm thinking like maybe I need to do that. My goal for this week is to walk every day and walk for an hour every day at least. So that's my goal for the next week. You know, it's interesting doing I was going to go to like every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks doing these updates. I asked you guys, and the majority of you said that no, you like the every week thing on here. I feel like it's really, really repetitive. And a lot of people are like, no, I'm doing the journey with you. It's not repetitive. It's really, really helpful. I think for me, I don't want to, I don't want to be here 2 years from now and being like, I'm really proud of myself that I've maintained. I can tell you that in 3 months, if I'm sitting here, I'm going to be, I will tell you how frustrated I am that I've maintained. I think that maintenance is fantastic, but I'm not maintenance at my goal weight. You know, I'm not even maintenance under 200 pounds at this point. I'm what, 207.2. So, is that what I was today? 207.2. I'm not even at my maintenance of goal weight or under 200 like the doctors want me or whatever, you know? So, I can tell you in 3 months, if I'm not there, I'm going to be frustrated. So I've got some work to do, and I know that, and it's time for me to step it up, and I'm fully, fully aware of that, you know? And I know the things that I'm not doing. I mean, I think, you know, like this week I ate healthier, but like there was like one night that I had some like plant-based like chicken nuggets, and I probably could have had half the amount that I had, you know? I had it with a cottage cheese, but I could have had half the amount that I had. I also think that I need to switch to more like high protein stuff that I'm eating, and, you know, be more aware of that. I also think the timing of when I eat and things like that would be really good for me to look at too. The thing is that because I'm doing this so long term, if I wanted to make myself a schedule and be like, okay, by Christmas, you're going to have lost 40 pounds. And I know when I say this, people will be like, well, why won't you do it? If I wanted to do that, okay, and I wanted to say, okay, every day you're going to walk. I am this dedicated and this committed to things in my life, okay? I mean, obviously, I have 7 channels I post on them pretty regularly. I finish books and TV shows and do this and do that. And there's a lot of things that I never share on camera that I'm really committed to, and I do. I don't have a problem with commitment, okay? So if I said, like, by Christmas, I'm going to be at my goal weight, and what I'm going to do is every day I'm going to walk for an hour and a half. 4 days a week I'm going to do weight training. I'm going to drink water every single day. I'm not going to ever drink soda. I'm only going to eat the right things. You know, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. If I made like this list, I'm going to go to bed at 10 o'clock every single night. I'm not going to stay up and watch my TV shows. I'm going to get a good, you know, 8-9 hours of sleep every single night. This, and whatever. I know I could do it. I don't know, for me, in all honesty, how enjoyable that would be. You know, I know that might seem like a cop-out, but that's just the truth of where I'm at, is that I also don't, I've done very structured things like that before, and I almost become a little bit like robotic with it. And I kind of lose sight of, you know, I'm at the same time trying to live in the moment. You know, that's my major goal for 2024. I don't want to lose sight of living in the moment and enjoying each thing with the moment while being so structured. And just to give you guys an example, the last time that I did that was the last Christmas that I was with my mom. And I shared the story on here about, I was like on this lean cuisine diet, which I know that those aren't super healthy, but I lost a lot of weight on them. And, you know, I wouldn't even go out and have Christmas dinner with her in Gatlinburg. I was so, you know, like routine with what I was eating and what I was doing. And I can remember when I started working out after my mom passed away and when she was sick, like people would ask me to go do stuff, and I was like, no, I have to go work out. You know, I even had like a friend of mine, I know this is crazy to believe this, but I even had a friend of mine reach out to me at a time and said, I'm a little worried about you. Like, you're working out 2 times a day for like 2 hours at a time. You're eating like 1,000 calories a day. You're very, very rigid. And I was like, hey, listen, this is what I need to do for me. And I think it was, for me, it was very much like a control mechanism. And so it's kind of finding the balance a little bit, you know? And so that's what I'm trying to do right now. But I think that the not letting go of the journey and continuing on it is, for me, it's interesting because I saw somebody, like, I did this, like, you know, question thing on Instagram, and somebody, like, it was unpopular opinions, and somebody said I hate the word journey. And it's funny because the word journey is kind of trite, but it really is true, you know, of what I'm on. I am on a journey of discovery and, you know, adventure and finding new things out about myself. And I know the day will come when I get on video and I say I've met my goal weight. And I know the day will come when I say I went to the doctor and the doctor's very proud because I'm below 200 pounds. I know the day will come where, you know, I'm comfortable taking my shirt off for pictures and not being like this on an Instagram post, you know? I know that the day will come when I'm proud of everything that I've done, and I can sit here and say that. That day is not today, but I'm on the road towards that day. And that, for me, is a lot further than I was 3 years ago. And so that's huge for me. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.